Hello, this is Anjanette.
And I'm Sean.
Welcome to Take a Food's Advice, our podcast where we share our life experiences and hope that you take away something valuable that we learned on this journey called life.
Yes, right. And we are brothers and sisters. And it's really a privilege. I really enjoy doing this podcast with you, sis, for real, for real. You know, it's a blessing for me because, very rarely can people just get along with sister and brother. I just love it. Also, we was talking last week. We got a little emotional. Sometimes y'all gonna see that, man. I'm a waterhead. I ain't gonna lie. I can't help it. I'm a waterhead. And Jeanette is too. But when you see those type of tears, there's no shame in them because they come from dealing with pain. And sometimes that's how I release my pain. I ain't gonna lie to you. Sometimes, and Jeanette can tell you, sometimes I call her crying. Not that I'm, be a baby, but I just have a lot built up in my mind and my heart and get overwhelmed. Sometimes it come out as tears, but that's just me. But I did want to say, and I discussed this with my sister as well. I think since I was telling y'all about our incarceration and what led up to me and the situation somewhat, I really want to go to the root. So I had told my sister we should talk about what really was the root of violence in our lives and why so many murders and so many hardships have been surrounded or we've been somewhat involved in it, And I think, as we have discussed, it's domestic violence. We come from a background of domestic violence. A lot of people do. It ain't just mamas and daddies. It could be brothers and sisters. It could be cousins. It can be, anything that's familiar type of relationship that's considered domestic violence, or any kind of violence within a family relationship. But one of the things I want to talk about that come to my mind is Miss Harris and Jeanette, my love, my sister. You had a great deal of domestic violence in your life. I don't know if a lot of people was familiar with that, or you have had some domestic violence. One thing about you is you're kind of dangerous. I can remember a time that you actually stabbed somebody in a domestic situation. Elaborate on that a little bit, let the people know what you've been through so they can understand that it can happen to anybody.
First, I forgot to say today is June 12th. It's our daddy's birthday, June 12th. Sure. Daddy would have been what? I think Daddy would have been about 86.
Yeah.
So praise God, miss him dearly. Freddie James Swanson. All right, I love him. Miss you, Daddy. I'll see him again one day, but okay. All right, yeah, I was just thinking about when you called me about this topic, I was really thinking about it, and I was thinking, it goes way further back than that. You know what I'm saying? Grandma. You know what I'm saying? And she was the strongest woman I know, the strongest woman I've ever met. We're talking about a woman that, survived back then. She was born in 1911, only child. Woman had a large bank account, owned her home, uneducated, couldn't even read, and I remember one time I was touching her arm, feeling on her arm, and I was like, Grandma, what is those little pebbles in your arm? They were buckshots. She had been shot in domestic violence, so it goes way further back than that. So maybe we can help somebody, Am I blinking? Is my screen blinking?
No.
Okay. This other one for some reason. But anyway, yeah, so just thinking about it, from when I first started dating, it was domestic violence. what I would consider my first love was domestic violence. But even from that, before that, I never seen it in my grandma. Like I said, because about time they were not together when I was born. So her and my grandfather, when I was born, they had went on about their lives, but they still loved each other as friends. So sometimes, they probably was young in those days, grew up and whatever, but they both had went on about their lives, had families. And so then of course, mama, I witnessed it firsthand from mama and daddy ended up shooting mama and she died. I was 11, Sean was 12. And then from uh, the first, when I first started dating young, I had my first baby at 15, there was domestic violence, even in teenage dating, that carried on all throughout my life, even in when I started having more children, and our relationship was volatile. We would get into it, we would fight, fight, make up, blow up, whatever. And I don't know if it was normal to me. It wasn't normal because from seeing what my mama went through, I always said that I want to go through that. So even though me and Corey, the kid's father, we would fight, we would have big fights. I never was the type to lay down. So not saying that something is wrong with, I'm not calling other women weak or nothing like that, but it's just we were young, we were volatile. I remember I used to always tell my kids, and now I changed that, but as raising my kids, I used to tell them, y'all dad might not have loved me, but for sure, he loved y'all. Without a doubt, he loved y'all with his whole heart. I might not have been all that to him, but y'all was everything to him. And now I take that back because after I was thinking about that, we was young, just like grandma and JB. But they kept a relationship. They were friends with each other. They still loved each other like family. Everybody was a family. And I think that's probably with me and Corey. We did love each other. We both came from, we both had our own issues that we hadn't dealt with. And he witnessed domestic violence as well. So it was just young people out here not knowing what to do, where to go. And
but not to say but so almost piggyback off what you were saying. As a man, you become the one that's possibly, although there are some men who get abused by women or whatever it may be in a domestic situation, but usually it's the man who becomes the abuser. You get what I'm saying? So with that being said, in the process of me in my relationships, I noticed that when an anger level got to a certain, when my anger got to a certain level, violence was the only thing that would soothe that hunger, so to speak. And I said this probably in our first podcast, that I never was taught to walk away. And people may say, what you mean? It's important to understand the value, or not just the simplicity, but the way that it makes you feel once you learn how to do it, to just walk away. You know what I'm saying? When it's hard to walk away, especially when you ain't been taught how, you're a hothead. But once you learn how to do it, you're totally in control of the situation. That's
you
why.
be in a lot of situations, or some of the relationships that we were in if we would have knew better. You know, if violence was not, I'll do this to you. You know what I'm saying? Or come on, bring it. You know, if that wasn't part of normal to us, then we wouldn't have been in a lot of situations that we were in.
That's true. You know, like I said, I've had to have some, well, me, Corey, you know, other relationships. I had to get in it. You know what I mean? And get
Like
into
Corey,
your.
remember he chipped my tooth with a skate? He had came to the house, we was into it, and he wanted to come in the house or something. And I was looking out the window, and he took that skate and threw that skate through that window, chipped my tooth. And then while he was coming in the window, I took a knife, stabbed him in the neck, had to call the ambulance. I mean, just crazy. Just crazy. Today, something like that happened. No, I wouldn't do it.
And I mean, like I said, I had to get in some of your situations, you know, as far as fighting with your boyfriends about y'all having problems. You know what I mean? You got me?
I'm listening.
So you disagree with that?
Yeah.
I've never protected you from a boyfriend or something like that. You disagree with that?
I don't know.
You want me to refresh your, that's terrible. That is terrible. I'm gonna refresh your memory. I was living around the corner and you came, sent your kids around there to get me. You remember that? You remember when I came there to your house, you was about to hit this man with a hammer and I stopped you from hitting him with the hammer. And I ended up getting hit with the damn hammer. You don't remember that?
No.
Corey, the kids, all the kids came to my house, come to get my daddy. He and my mama fight. I come over there, y'all up there fighting. You got a hammer about to hit him with it. And I say, don't hit him with that hammer. Y'all stop. I go back around the corner. The kids come running by there. The next time I come back there, y'all ran out the house. I go over the house, I can hit the damn hammer. You don't remember that?
Probably did happen.
Ain't no probably did happen. Tiffany was there too. Y'all, it did happen. No, probably happened. It did happen.
But it may be because we always was into it. I can't tell you what time that we was.
No, that wasn't my question. My question was, there were times when I had to get into your relationship problems. I got into fights with your boyfriends about you. Do I need to go on?
Yeah, because I just.
So you don't remember that first? You don't. That's, you know what? That's crazy. But I'm gonna give you one more. But you don't remember that.
The kids probably did come around there. I probably didn't tell them to. And when you got around there,
no, I can tell you exactly what you did. When I got there, he won't leave my house, Sean. I came and talked to you you was on the steps, and I walked in the house. You said he won't get him out of my house, Sean. He won't leave. You don't remember saying that?
Well, Sean, no, I don't remember it.
Well,
how many years ago was that? I might not remember every detail, but that was a long time ago.
But that's to say that do you understand the question I asked you?
Yeah, that did you have to come and get into it with dudes over me? I would say, because I remember one time in Danville that we all went, it was a fair, and we all went to get into it with whoever I was dating then. We all went and we all got into it. So yeah, you did get into it.
I had a pistol whoop one of them and I went to jail for it.
Yeah. Yeah, we did. I remember that time that we all went because me and him had got into it. We always did. Yeah.
Okay. Now, the reason why I asked that question was because in domestic violence, you know what I'm saying, you have a lot of people who are do the same thing, but jump and don't want it done to theirs. You get what I'm saying? In other words, you know, at that time, I probably was jumping on somebody, hypothetically speaking. But I'm getting in your stuff because whatever it may be. And so what I'm saying is, it's a chain reaction almost. Most people get into other people's domestic violence for their family, but because they don't want nobody doing it in their family, but they abuse somebody else's family.
Right.
You know, and this is why I wanted to talk about the situation, because we both have been through it as far as our genes go back. You know, grandma wasn't buying no BS, period. I don't remember her walking down the street 70 years old to come when we fighting down there. And, you know, they talked about my granny. Hey, who's this old lady walking in this old flowery? And I remember that just like yesterday, but she coming down there to get me. I'm the boy. I'm down the street fighting.
Who would you fight?
I ain't gonna say no names.
Oh.
But I would say that she is probably one of my first girlfriends.
Oh, you was fighting? Oh, okay.
You know what I'm talking about?
I don't.
I tell you what, I'll give you one more hint. She had a sister, a brother, and her family is kind of religious.
Oh, yeah. See, I don't remember that.
You
I don't
remember
y'all getting into
her, my girl and her used to fight all the time.
I don't remember you and the brother getting into it.
Yeah, man, we used to get into it all the time, me and him. All the time, high school, and then he older than me.
A little bit, I kind of remember y'all might have got in a fight.
We got into it about her. We got into it about you one time. We just would do that. Just like your one of your children, one of them, we used to do that all the time. But at that time, like I said, we were drinking like fish. We basically were little drunks running around.
Yeah, I'm sure I probably was coming to get you. Sean such and such did it. Oh, I'm going to get my brother. Because
no, you wasn't. No. Hold up. You wasn't like that. You wasn't. But depending on the situation, because I remember you and our cousin, my favorite cousin, they know who they are. Y'all done came here a couple of times. Y'all got a number of women y'all fight. And but that's how we were.
I think me and you was around each other a lot growing up. And so when it went down, it just went down with both of us.
You done had fights over me with guys. You got your nose busted. I mean, that's how we roll, but I don't regret it. I'm just good now. I'm like learning mastery. You feel what I'm saying? I learned that, man, hey, I'm still living to get to be this age. And so God got, let me just say this real quick.
I think this too, a lot of times, even today, it would be hard not to say something was going down with me or something was going down with you. If I just heard about it or knew about it, I'm automatically going, and I know they were in the wrong hurting you, then I'm automatically, it's going to be hard for me not to want to do something to that person. Same
I don't care if you're wrong or right. I ain't gonna lie to you. My sisters and brothers, that's all I got. Wrong or right, that goes for all of them. Eric, Tiffany, all. I don't want nobody to hurt my brother. I couldn't stomach that. But like I said, I hurt somebody, brother. I hurt somebody, kids. See, when you're so quick to jump in violence,
right?
See, my demeanor is violence. I couldn't stand nobody doing none of my. And once you do that, you forget about all the pain and all the garbage you be on. So that's why I say, as becoming a conscious man, and I wanted to say something before you said what you said. Let me tell everybody something out there that's looking. Don't let nobody tell you God don't like this, God don't like that. And you 50, 40, years old, even though that's not a long time. But when you get to live to be that age, God got to love something about you. And I'm saying that to say a lot of people try to make people to want to be perfect, so they never really develop, because it's impossible to be perfect. You don't get a chance to develop trying to be perfect. You only develop by going through a process. And sometimes that process is a bumpy road. You feel me?
You don't get a chance to be your real self, yourself who God knows you to be, and to, like you said, and to correct. Okay, if it don't give you a chance to correct what you hide, because that's all you're doing is hide.
That's it. You never be able to come out the surface until the fire hit the flame. Till the fire hit the floor, so to speak. And then that's war times, or that's show time, so to speak. You're not prepared. It's like I was watching the movie. The guy kept talking about the guys who always talking about, man, I can't wait to get to bust my gut at this guy. It was a movie. I can't wait to do this, that, and the other. And then he walked away and told his buddy he's with, he said, it'll be the first one that's gonna run. He said, watch what happened. All right, yo, let's go. Whole time the guy in the car doing like this. Soon as he went by where they supposed to be at, they wasn't there. Who's the first person that spoke? The guy didn't want to, was scared. Oh man, I wish they was. And I didn't actually seen that type of stuff. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. So actually, I even tell the truth. I don't overtalk my, as they say, let your behind mouth write something that your butt can't cash.
Me too.
Exactly. Several times. So like we be saying, this ain't no stuff we trying to be slick and know everything. This some stuff we even went through. And like I said, the more you try to humble yourself, and the more you try to look at the dirt or the speck, I said it before, the speck in another person's eye, your eye has the plank, you had a bigger problem. Because I tell my significant other this all the time, which is a woman, because people use that word now loosely. You mean a man, all kind of, that's not me. Y'all know that anyway. But anyway, we so quick to try to be like, to gossip. Sometimes listen to the conversations and straight up gossip. And to each his own, but if you hadn't spent that time to think about making $1, how much gossip time would you have? None. And guess how better your life would be? And I ain't talking about $1 to be having money, but once I get this $1, I'm gonna make sure I got, and people I love around me got this, and God bless me, I'm gonna let the other people get some too, or anybody I need to help. If you start opening up your mind and humble yourself, those be the thoughts. You know what I'm saying? So when you sit up talking about people, all you thinking about to make the next person think you saying something worse about them, or than they can.
And how can we sit up and talk about somebody and we all are jacked up in some areas, we all are jacked up. I was just thinking about something today and I don't know what it was. And I was like, you know what? Enough. Would I do that for? If they offered me enough money? Because I was kind of judging this lady I was looking at. She was a prostitute. And I was like, now, if the price was right, would I do this? And I was like, well, I hope I wouldn't. Well, I can't say I wouldn't. To be honest with myself, what if it was $5 million on the table? We got some wickedness in us that we got to be prayed up, that when that situation come our way, we got to hope that we would pass it. Or God would give us the strength to pass it.
I'm going to tell you something that nobody can make me do, that I didn't like, that wasn't my thing. I was always fearful to break in people's houses. And I had a lot of partners, that was their MO, and they used to come out with gold. I had one homeboy had so much gold he was getting. I'm talking about good jewelry, guns, I'm talking about cases of guns. But I always would think, two things about breaking in people's houses you got to understand. If that person sleep hard, It's just your luck that they probably wake up that day when they hit your house, in their house. Secondly, there's no defense you can go in front of a lawyer and say while you in somebody's house you ain't got no business being in.
Right.
There's no defense. So you got to find a cop if they want to give you a cop. It's basically jumping off the cliff hoping that you land on your feet. That's one, and that's one, like I said, my thing has never been bullying. My thing has never been hating on another person. My thing has been when I feel violated, I go too far. Or I entertain some things that I shouldn't entertain as far as, you know, dealing with individuals.
But would you say you better now? You think about it now. You're not.
Well, I mean, God gave me the chance to live. This is why I hold myself to these young brothers. Maybe they'll be better than me at 54.
Right.
Look how old I am. I should. Because the truth being, you're getting too old and you can't be doing the stuff that the young boys doing anyway. You know, I mean, running around playing basketball, doing hard half the time I wake up, my body hurt. So I'm just saying, you're getting old. So I just want to know, I just not want to know, I just want people, young men to know that no one, I don't think you're crazy. I like the same things they like, basically. I just know what to entertain and what not to entertain.
What would you tell them about domestic violence?
Well, the point of it is, dealing with domestic violence is, you know, I would, as far as myself, I need to get help on this too, because I have a lot of anger problems. But what I think the biggest thing would be is, some people can't do this. You have to really look at yourself for what, each day you wake up, the worstest thing about yourself to the best thing about yourself should be utilized to making a better self. So the best about you should always be doing. And the worst about you should always be developed to be better. You get that? So I said that to say this. If you're able to look at yourself for what you really are and not for what you think you are, because sometimes you believe those lies.
So do.
You know, and yeah, when you're young, think about it. I bet you I can beat you running. Oh, old man, you ain't gonna do. And you old, when you get our age, you be like, damn, I think I can get him. And you take off and your hamstring go off. Or you hurt your toe. Anything. And you messed up, you actually gotta go to the hospital. He fall and mess his hamstring up. He get wrapped up, he cool. There's a difference. There's a reason for us to get to the point we did, those that have made it. So it's also imperative that we look at these young people and understand that that's just natural nature for young people. You be miserable a lot of times. A lot of times, including not me, all we used to want to do was get high, get money, mess around with a bunch of women, nice clothes, nice cars. Girls want to find them some. It's the same thing. And then sometimes we be sitting up high as a kite in a couple of my partners' houses, young ladies' houses. We all in there looking stupid. Man, it's boring. And we, mind you, we in the Villa. So it wasn't never really nothing to do there anyway. But all you could, and you know, most places anyway, but I'm just saying. So you would sit back and get so high to where you'd be like, damn, man, it's boring. So, excuse me, there's only so much that they want to do because they're trying to find the next high in life. Some of them are blessed to have intellect to where they go to college or they get off in sports or they're just good at certain things, and that gives them a high to be better, to excel in a different way. You feel what I'm saying? Because some people don't smoke and drink, and some people do. That don't mean they're not successful, but some people go a different route. So as far as, telling young guys about domestic violence, if you don't want nobody hitting your sister, You got to be able to check yourself if you're in somebody else's system. Because if you don't, what could happen?
Because violence don't always stop where you think it's gonna stop. You know what I'm saying? Violence
That's
don't,
my point. That's
yeah,
my point. Sorry for cutting you off. That was the situation with me and Corey.
right.
Corey and me at times, we always tried to outdo each other. He'll steal my shirt, I'll steal his whole coat. We would do that dumb stuff to each other. You remember that? I'll leave out of town with his stuff. Or here, wait till I leave out of town, you got my stuff. But we always was cool. That's what we do. But I looked at it. That was self-hate. That was self-hate that both of us had for ourselves. Because somebody happy with themselves don't indulge in those type of games. That's what I'm trying to say. When you look at yourself the way you're supposed to look at yourself, certain things don't even get next to you. I don't have to go out now to feel like I'm to validate myself. I don't have to be the highest guy that smoked all the weed in the room to be like, I don't have to be all those. In fact, I'm like that spider. I'm kind of recluse myself. I don't really do a lot. You know what I mean? But I have my fun. But like I said, I know my demeanor, and the more I'm dealing with myself, the more I don't want to deal in violence. And I'm looking at it just the way we think. It's very easy to get into a familiar dispute or get in a situation with somebody's loved one and somebody's life get took. I'm living proof of that.
So if you have an anger problem, you don't know how to control your temper, or when you pop off, you pop off. Things can change. Break the curse, because in the long run, when you 50 and 60, you're gonna be like, that wasn't even.
Well, it depends, because I was facing first-degree murder, and in Michigan, and in most states, that's a non-parolable offense. You may not get lucky to get out. That's the whole thing. You can kill somebody and they give you natural life, even though your case wasn't that looking like that. You could see that he didn't really kill him. But if that judge hit that gavel and say natural life, that's what it is.
And sometimes it's your first case in your life and you get natural life.
And let me say this.
Sometimes you've never been in trouble before, and people be like, man, I didn't even know he was like that, or she was like that. And look, exactly. Yeah.
But and look at this. And I want you guys to understand what I'm telling you. You can either listen to, as we say, a fool's advice, or you can be that fool yourself and suffer. Everybody always talking about, man, I'll get back on the pill. Let me tell you something about a pill. And let me tell you what I seen in the 20 years I was incarcerated. I can count on my hand, not both hands, one hand, and I can't even use my feet to show you how many people got back in court while I was doing 20 years. So them 2 decades. Now, some people do get back in court? Of course they do. But what I'm gonna tell you is this. Judges know each other a lot of times personally, just like criminals know each other. The dope man know the next dope man. That's their circle. And some of my friends, and it's hard to look at my friend's case and say, I'm gonna overturn it for you. I'm not saying, and that's not justice, but I'm not saying that that's what happens, but hey, would you go against your friend? So I'm just saying, dealing in the politics of law, a judge pretty much has the discretion to do everything or anything she feels they should do, except violate your constitutional right, which means the rights that they say you have by law, or not give you a fair trial. If they deem your trial fair, and just because this didn't happen, you'll sit in prison till you die. My homeboy.
Oh, go ahead.
My homeboy that's younger than me just died a few weeks ago in prison at natural life. He was 40 something.
Or take daddy with domestic violence. He lived to be 84, but he never had true joy after that. because he loved mama. That happened, you know, it was bound to happen because it was a domestic violence marriage.
Mhm.
But he just didn't know that he was gonna, he had that regret forever. He
I mean,
never got
I
over it.
mean, to look at his life and then to look at my life is similar as of what's been going on. He did time when he was young. He had a lot of things. I mean, the thing of it is, life is what you make it still in the end. The blessing that I have is that I'm gonna take what I have, I'm gonna take the love that's around me, and that's what I'm gonna soak in. For real, for real. That's why I don't like gossiping people. I don't hang with gossiping people. I tell my girl in a minute, don't start there with me. And I walk out. The truth of it is, like I said, it's all about how you transfer your mind. You can soak your mind in what went wrong in your life. You can soak your mind, I did 20 years, I ain't gonna never have nothing. Man, listen, I'm gonna listen. Shit. Like I tell somebody, it's this to those that don't give a damn about me. And for those that got love for me, I'm putting y'all on my back. I don't care. That's how I roll. And it's a lot of people that got good love for me. I mean, it's enough that I can be all right with, you know. So it's a lot of things. What you smiling about?
No, go keep going. He gonna take us on out of here. Keep going.
Oh, we all our time's up.
Yeah, you remember my signal, don't you?
Oh,
You
tell
forgot.
everybody. I didn't see it, sister. Well, let me give y'all a quick fool's advice. My